Welcome to This is Overtime here on OSN. The Ottawa Senators lose 3-2 to the Montreal Canadiens here in the palatial states of Ashton. Lieber Sage Ben Soublier in Farhaven. Tanner Ryle. Gentlemen, how are we feeling? Actually, a terrific third period, a terrific game. Look, it was very exciting. Lots of chances back and forth. Tanner, how you feeling? How you feeling right now?
Not great, man. This team doesn't have it.
What do you mean they don't have it? They lost by 1 goal one time.
Yeah, but 2 out of the 3 goals were brutal once again by Linus Ullmark. Like, what happened to this guy? I mean, come on. And then on top of that, I watched Thomas Chabot completely drifting on at least 2 of those, way out of position. So you know what? Yeah, if they keep playing their defensive game, sure, maybe they've got a chance to get close. But it doesn't matter because Chabot is not Sanderson. And if they make it, whoop-de-doo, they're going to get 6 goals scored on them per playoff game. Like, who cares if they're going to be out in the first round?
Hold on. This has been one of the best defensive teams for a month in the National Hockey League. Linus Ullmark has the Ottawa Senators have the 3rd best goals against in the last month. They lost 3-2 to the Montreal Canadiens. It's not like they lost 8-7. Ben, how are you feeling?
I feel like that sooner rather than later, they're going to have to address goaltending, whether that means finding a suitable number 2 in the off season or finding somebody to promote to, get games and wins when you really need them, because you can't allow that last goal like that. That just can't happen. And Ullmark's save percentage still hasn't been great, even though he's been winning. Mm-hmm. So if your save percentage isn't going to be great, you got to make that last save.
Even the second goal, get your pad on the ice. Like, come on.
No, I agree.
I definitely blame that one more on Chabot being completely out of position and Matt and Paolo just getting caught doing nothing. Like, put your stick on the ice, but still, even come on, man. Put your pad down. Do something.
I agree.
I'm being so serious. Like, I don't care about a top 4 right D anymore. I don't care about a top 6 forward. Go get a goalie in the summer. Like, and I don't not even a 1B.
Guys. Look, I don't want to be that guy, Ben.
I said to go get Jesper Wallstedt.
Yeah, I know you did. But I said to at least go get a guy at the deadline. That was my number 1 concern. Not a right D, not a more scoring. None of that crap. They needed another guy other than Linus Ullmark, because how do you watch that game tonight and have confidence that your goalie in a 2-2 game in the 3rd period with 8 minutes to go is going to make a big save and not cost you the hockey game? How do you feel like that? You don't, no matter how they played, you don't feel like your goalie's going to come up with a big save, right? Is that how we feel?
Yeah, it's the Achilles heel. Like, literally, Sens can play a perfect game. And Ullmark lets in something like he did tonight. I don't blame him so much on the second one. But, like, team defense was still pretty good, especially the forwards tracking back. They got in the way of shots and lanes, breaking up passes. So, like, full value in terms of their commitment to the defense. But ultimately, if your goalie's not going to stop a high percentage of everything, he needs to make the last save.
Julian says another game lost due to terrible goaltending and lackluster play by Chabot. He continues with Sanderson going down the depth on defense, not great, especially on the left. Ottawa's got no one that can come up and play on the left side, but ultimately goaltending is the story of the season and not in a good way. So you mentioned like Matt and Paolo. The guy's hardly played. I'm not going to blame him. I do think Thomas Chabot tried to do too much tonight. On the first goal, yes, they're killing a penalty. And yes, I think it was a penalty from Dylan Cousins. Other people don't seem to think it was, but I do. Thomas Chabot and Artem Zub were literally touching shoulders at the sideboards on the first goal. And Tim Stützle dove and he missed. And it was not a good play by Stützle to dive because once he didn't get there, he basically gave the Canadians a goal. But Thomas Chabot was in the corner with Artem Zub. What the hell was he doing?
Yeah, it's one of those things with Chabot that as soon as his minutes start elevating, there's mental lapses in his game. I feel like he's got the physical tools to increase his minutes and play those meaningful minutes, but he looks his best when he's got the shelter of Jake Sanderson being the most responsible person on the ice and being out there for the big minutes or the big moments. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So mental lapses in Chabot's game. You had mentioned they basically a full travel day yesterday, so maybe a little mental fatigue there. But yeah, that's the downside. I don't think defense necessarily killed this team today. I think you needed one more stop and didn't get it.
Our good friend James is in Leaky Linus was himself. How soon can he be bought out? Good news, Tanner. I found out who James was about an hour and a half ago.
Okay.
Hornswoggle's dad.
Oh, there we go.
Doesn't that make him Fit Finley?
Fit Finley?
Yeah.
That could.
Or is it Vince?
But I'm not going to make fun of James. Is a staunch Cowboys fan, like a leader of leaders, men of men Cowboys fan. So he is welcome on this program anytime.
Big Red Blacks fan.
He's great
here as well.
Yeah. Look,
he can't be bought out. I just looked up the cap hit. I was kind of curious, but
yeah, what is it?
So it'd be 3.138 against the cap next season, and then after that, 5 years of in the $2 to $3 million range. That's a long buyout, but
can you do it?
I think you don't go down that route just yet.
I agree.
Unless you're signing a number one goalie for the same amount of money. I still think the move is to try to pry Jesper Wallstedt from Minnesota if you can.
Yeah, I'm fully on the Wallstedt train now as well. Before, when I was floating in the season, I didn't think it would work just with his cap and trying to get the minutes between the two of them, but I'm so in on it now. I think it's their biggest need, and I think goalies tend to go for less than they're worth. And just looking down at the pipes, like, does Levi Merilainen give you any confidence he's going to be that guy? Does Matt Sogard? No. You got some younger guys and like Beckman and stuff, but I mean, they're years away from getting up there.
I'm not out on Levi Merilainen or Levi Merilainen.
Levy.
Let's compromise with Levy. I feel like Lee Versage, Lee. Yeah, I like Levy.
Yeah.
I'm not out on him because I think when he played, the Ottawa Senators were not like defensively aware like they are now. And I think if he got some confidence, he's done it before in the National Hockey League. And if he was playing with this team right now with some confidence, I think he could be okay. He's just a young guy that's not there yet. And they need somebody that's there now. And whether Levi Merilainen, man, this is going to be Takeshka all over again.
But I mean, can they even like look at Levy and say like they're comfortable bringing him to the NHL next year? Because there's no way they can run back that tandem again with Allmark and Merilainen. And I mean, just looking at his stats right now, he's got an 890 in the AHL in 14 games.
Yeah, but they're awful.
They are awful. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Right? Belleville's awful as well. So to be able to judge.
I did this because this is going to drive Lee crazy. And in this case, I agree. Goaltending coach isn't going to help Linus Ullmark find that puck after it hits his shoulder.
Get out.
But
Julian, get out with that crap.
Ultimately, they probably should and probably will change out the goalie coach.
Yeah, they will.
Just to check that box and hopefully bring in somebody that either reinvigorates or figures something out for Linus.
A goaltending coach tonight
I said that. That's the first thing I said.
Wouldn't have helped.
I said that.
Well, then let's not worry about the coach.
I'm just addressing. I said at some point they're going to check that box.
You cherry pick Julian's thing so you could make the point.
Yeah, they'll check that box. But ultimately, like, I don't care if you go across to the either the Finnish Elite League, the Swedish Elite League, find somebody to stop a puck.
What could have been. That's what it's going to feel like this year. At the end of the year, it's what could have been.
Even if they squeak in, and like I said, they didn't need to win tonight. 1 point would have been great, even just as a consolation prize. They need help, though. They don't control their own destiny. And like we said, by Monday, if they don't bank 4 points against Anaheim and San Jose on the weekend, and if Boston or Detroit does something over those couple of games, they'll be out of it by Monday.
Well, they're not catching Montreal anymore.
They can't catch. Yeah, because of the 4 point swing.
Kiss that goodbye. They're 9 points back of Montreal right now, and they're a team. One of Pittsburgh, the New York Islanders, and Columbus are not going to make it, and they're going to be in this wild card chase. So you're going to have to beat out one or two of Columbus, Boston, Detroit, the Islanders, Pittsburgh. But right now you're 5 and 6 points back of all those teams.
Yeah, running out of time because you didn't bank points that you should have earlier around December and January.
Well, this loss feels bigger. Like, this team has played incredibly well over the last month. The last time they lost in regulation was against the Carolina Hurricanes, like a month ago, it feels like. But so they're going to lose, but because of what you just said, it feels bigger tonight, doesn't it? It feels like it's 2-2, 7 minutes to go. You got to find a way to win, and your goalie lets in a leaky goal.
And it stings more also because it's on home ice where your captain's getting booed and it's full of Habs fans. I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant experience for the few Sens fans that drove out there tonight. And just looking at the game, the two reasons that they lost were the two guys that they need to step up right now. And neither of them did tonight in Allmark and Shabbat.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Their goalie and Thomas Chabot have to be the best players on the ice if this team has a shot to make the playoffs because of the Jake Sanderson injury. And both of them were not great tonight. And that really, really hurt. Be interesting to hear. One of our colleagues, Steve McKenzie, is at the game. The wave going around from the Montreal Canadiens fans doing the wave in.
What a joke. So Bush League.
For what?
For Habs fans.
You think that's Bush League?
Yeah.
So if you're a Sens fan and there's lots of others.
I don't even do the wave if I'm in the arena.
Yeah, but if there were a ton of other Sens fans and you were at like MSG, you were in Montreal, ton of Sens fans, your team's winning, they're doing the wave, you're not standing up?
No.
Bull crap.
No. Have some respect, some class.
Absolutely.
Win with dignity.
Bull crap. So the games now become even more important this weekend because, like I said, it's Wednesday night. There is a multitude of teams in action tomorrow and a couple on Friday. And if this team has any chance, they need some help because they could be 7 points out of a playoff spot come Saturday.
Yeah, I think overall, as a group, we kind of chatted about how we thought we'd know if they were in or out by the deadline. And it seems like they've kind of extended that window by 10 days. And I think by Monday, we'll know for sure if they're, nail in the coffin, dead. Because, you can still hold out hope right now. And it's the hope that kills you. But but you got to take care of business this weekend. Otherwise, it's done.
I'm a Ted Lasso guy.
Yeah, it's got to be 4 points this weekend and some scoreboard help they have no chance. I think it's already over, but yeah.
I love Tanner has just gone from they're fine to it's over in one loss. Thought Timmy was a bit off tonight as well. Not his best game, says James, just looking at his numbers. 2 assists, and honestly, if Batherson's stick wasn't there, he would have a goal and an assist because it still would have gone in. Played 19 minutes, had 6 hits, had 4 shots on goal, 2 others that were either blocked or missed the net, and was very dangerous. I thought Tim Stützle was fantastic tonight. Like he usually has been one of their top players, and I thought that was no exception tonight.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. Tim Stützle is the dangerous Tim Stützle.
It's the best.
Yeah. He is the type of player where he plays with a chip on his shoulder, especially if he does something early in the game where he feels like he's messed up. I think he takes it personally, and then he feels the pressure and starts trying to make something happen, which sometimes can come back and bite him. Lately, it hasn't, but in previous seasons, we've seen him try to stick handle too much or try to do something on his own, and we've seen it, come back the other way. But tonight, I think on that first where he whiffs on trying to break up the play on the penalty kill.
Yeah, he dove and he missed and he put himself out of position.
Yep. And you know what? That's probably a 50-50 play. If he actually makes contact, it's probably clearing the zone and we're not even talking about it. But then I think it further motivated him in the game, and that he, felt like he needed to make up for that. And besides a couple moments here and there, like you said, I thought he looked dangerous all night long.
The other guy I thought was terrific tonight was Claude Giroux. I thought he was all over the place in this game.
Yeah, and he's been a little snake bitten. I think they said no points in his last 8 games going into tonight.
Yeah,
but I'd noticed him on the right side of the puck quite a bit. A little bit of a rough game for the third line, though. Just looking at the score sheets here, -2 for your Pinto, Cousins, Amadio.
Yeah, Amadio had that breakaway right before the Habs scored.
Yeah, he's got to bury that, but it's Amadio.
It's like the new Chris Kelly.
How about Eric Condra, guys?
Yeah.
Remember Eric Condra?
That's a good shout.
What?
Yeah, that's a good shout.
20 breakaways a season and no goals. It's like Eric Condra was that guy. I thought I want to cheer for my Markham boy, Warren Fogle. I haven't thought he's been great.
I want to see him elevated. Switch him and Cousins and see it with a little bit more to work with.
I think he's shown flashes. Yeah.
Zetterlund is kind of
I said to you, why was he on the ice with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go? And Mr. Ben's got a reason for everything, Tanner, and everyone listening. You ask him a question, it's always right away. Well, I mean, they were rolling lines and I'm like, there's 2:20 to go and Fabian Zetterlund's on the ice down a goal. Why?
Because Timmy needed a break.
Yeah, but lots of other players on the bench other than Fabian Zetterlund.
To that point, I think Fogle, try him. Hey, you know what? Try him up higher in the lineup if you think you can get something going, and then bring Greg back down to the third line to work with Amadio and Pinto.
Erickson says, good point by you, Ben. Not a wave guy either, but I'm an ole guy. Would that have been Bush League in your opinion?
I don't mind the ole.
It's just the wave.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time somebody said it's a good point by you on the text. Ethan's not in, I guess.
Yeah, no, Ethan's a hater.
Yeah.
I think he's too scared to share some things he said in his group chat. He had to take that. Oh man.
Really?
After the game. Sorry, Ethan, but yeah, you're getting flamed for this one.
Nice.
If they make it, they have the best chance in the East.
No, they don't.
I'd still take probably Tampa.
Or Carolina.
Buffalo or Montreal.
No.
Who's the other teams that'll make it?
Yeah, no, Montreal. I wouldn't take Montreal over the Sens in a series.
I would. Look at tonight.
No, I wouldn't.
I would.
I mean, do either team have great goaltending? Probably not.
I mean, Montreal's Dobesh and Fowler are playing pretty good.
Jacob Fowler was outstanding at the end of the game tonight.
Imagine having your third string guy come in and play that well. When the Senators can't even have their $8 million. Yeah. Imagine that this season. That would be enough.
Yeah.
Jacob Fowler, the levy from last year, they'd be in the playoffs right now. But
what could have been?
The $8 million guy can't get it done.
How much do you think Thomas Chabot played tonight?
I can't see it. I mean, I could if I focused my eyes, but I'll say 25 minutes.
Tanner?
I already saw it.
Okay.
I was pretty
What?
spot on. I would have guessed
28-32 for Thomas Chabot.
Yeah, that's like I said, as soon as those minutes go up, we saw it under DJ Smith.
Yeah.
Mental mistakes.
I mean, like, what do you even do at that point? Are you going to play Tyler Clevin 22 minutes or 23 minutes?
Like Jordan Spence played over 20 minutes in this hockey game.
He looked pretty good tonight.
Yeah, and he's on the other side too, so it's not really he's an option to elevate unless you're going to throw him on his off.
I'm pretty sure you were not happy with Jordan Spence's shot selection tonight with a couple of.
Oh yeah, but I meant overall defensively.
Yeah, look, this was
I'm one of those Sens fans who's very critical of the shot selection. Don't take what I say personally.
Oh, okay. But they didn't play badly tonight.
No, they
right?
didn't.
Like they gave up an early power play goal that Chabot's kind of running around a little bit, but it's still a power play goal that, you know, it's 2-2. Like they need to find a way to score a goal in a big moment. And instead their goalie let in a goal that Jacob Fowler did not let in at the end, right? Like Fowler was better than Linus Ullmark. And we've said from the beginning, it doesn't matter what some of the other things are going on. The Sens are going to get to the playoffs if Linus Ullmark is their best player. And Linus Ullmark was outplayed by Jacob Fowler tonight. Like I don't know what else to say, right?
If your goalie can't lock it down, it means you need people who can break open the score and score in those clutch moments. And I still think while goaltending is still probably the number one thing they need to address at some point, I'd still like a trigger man, somebody that can play with Stützle, that can just bury pucks. Because ultimately it was a 1-goal game with less than 10 minutes left.
Drake Batherson, though, had 2 goals tonight.
It's a need for sure, but I think it's still your third biggest need. Like goaltending is clearly number 1 right now. Nick Jensen is probably gone after this season, so somebody's got to take that second spot, and Carter Yakimchuk looks nowhere near ready for the NHL.
Yeah.
So I think by default that becomes the number 2.
So I will say this about Carter Yakimchuk. Holy cow, mouthful. Some players do look better in the NHL versus the AHL because AHL can be very scrambly and disorganized. And
sure.
I thought we saw some good flashes when he was up with the big club. And I think in a structure like Travis Green has Ottawa playing, maybe he could be that guy. I don't think you'd want him to be a top 4D next year if you're serious about trying to get back into playoffs. But if you could get him some sheltered minutes, I wouldn't be opposed to starting him at the start of the season, assuming you didn't have any other options that you were able to either go out and trade for a defenseman or lure somebody in free agency. I wouldn't even be opposed to overspending and just to bring somebody in from free agency. To Lee's point, when we were talking about it, it's got to be the right guy though. And
you better be right.
Yeah, you can't whiff on that.
And do you trust this management group to be able to do that? I don't know if I do. Like Jacob Chychrun out, Nick Jensen in. Like, sure could use Jacob Chychrun right now. So I don't know. Like this management group has not inspired me that if they go out and overspend on a top 4 right D, you're basically talking like a Nick Jensen before he hurt his hip.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that that's their fault that he hurt his hip, but this is a guy that, like, it's not a top end player. It's a need for this team. But if you overspend and that's not the right guy, you're gonna put yourself in a world of hurt.
Yeah, need somebody that their play isn't going to drop off. So it has to be the right guy.
Yeah, and you can't go overboard with term either because you got hopefully Yakimchuk's going to be ready sooner or later. Or Hensler, one of these guys that you've drafted to fill this big void that's been there for however many seasons now.
So realistically, 5 points out of a playoff spot. They need a little bit of help to be able to get there this weekend. Do you really think they're dead, Tanner?
It's gonna depend, I guess, on the scoreboards tomorrow night and Friday. I think they gotta go 4 for 4 points on the weekend for sure. I don't see any other way between that. It's the points, and they need some out of town help.
So the problem right now is that they have 2 games in the next week. So it's a Wednesday night. They play Saturday, Sunday, and then they don't play again until next Wednesday. So in a week, if they don't win the games on the weekend, man,
Yeah, you'll know by Monday. Because if I assume Boston, yeah, I think Boston and Detroit, if they've got games Thursday, Saturday, and they win both those games and Ottawa loses Saturday, Sunday, then.
But what if they don't win and Ottawa wins 1 and Boston
still might not be enough to resurrect the Ottawa Senators? But I think you'll know by Monday.
So Boston has San Jose at home tomorrow, and then they're in Washington on Saturday afternoon at 3. Ottawa plays Saturday afternoon at 1.
I guess the tough part would be like if they manage to maintain the same pace and we're sitting here in a week and they're still 5 points back of Boston.
That's what it feels like it's going to be.
But then you're running out of time. Like, I think if you had like a huge point swing this weekend where Detroit and Boston lose both their games Thursday, Saturday, I think they're both playing, and then Ottawa wins and gets 4 points, then I'm ready to say, yeah, they can hang on right till the last week of the season. But if they don't get 4 for 4 and some combination of Detroit and Boston either win out, then you're running out of time. They might get close, but they're running out of time.
There is still a team to deal with, right, in the Metro that they're going to have to jump over, whether that's Columbus or the Islanders or Pittsburgh. But I don't want to give you credit here because you've had a disastrous night. Like your team, like everything that's happened, 7-6, 8-7 is going to be more than 11 goals, like disaster written all over you tonight. But your point about Detroit, they're in Tampa and in Dallas coming up Thursday, Saturday. Then they're home for what I would call like an absolute must-win for them against Calgary. A couple days off, and then their most important stretch of the year. They are home. Every game's at home. Montreal, Boston, Ottawa.
Then Buffalo.
Then, yeah, but I mean, that's not a standings changer. The Montreal, Boston, Ottawa games are absolute 4-point games for the Red Wings, and they have them back to back to back Thursday, March 19th, Saturday, March 21st, and then Tuesday, March 24th. So,
yeah. And if they're missing Larkin and Kopp and Gibson potentially isn't 100%, they're going to be feeling it a little bit.
That might be the team. Again, we're kind of looking at it from this Atlantic Division lens, but there is going to be a team. Columbus is 3 points up on Ottawa. The Islanders are 6 points. The Penguins are 6 points. But one of those teams is still going to be involved in the wild card, right?
Yeah, I always go back to, I can't remember exactly what the stat was on it, but teams that make the playoffs in terms of plus minus being a very easy way to go back and look and see what teams in the division, what teams in the conference have a positive or negative plus minus.
It's a bunch of phooey is what this is.
And the Detroit Red Wings have been trending in the wrong direction.
Okay, the Washington Capitals are +9 this year.
Yep.
Do you think they're making the playoffs? They lost to Philadelphia tonight.
Nope.
They're done.
Okay, they're +9. So what kind of metric is this that you're telling me?
Yeah, it's not. I didn't say it was perfect, but I'm saying statistically speaking, you don't make playoffs with a negative
phooey
goal differential.
It's also -2. It's not like it's -14 like Philly.
Yep, but let's see how that stretch of games goes.
Yeah, it's huge for them. I mean, they're 4-5-1 in their last 10.
Yep. Meandering.
Meandering guys are. Ottawa's 6 points back of the Red Wings.
With a game against them.
With a game against them. But tonight you saw this game against Montreal that they could pull them back. They lose in regulation, and Montreal is gone now. It's not 9 points.
It's two, maybe 3 teams you can catch.
So that Detroit game,
must win.
Might mean everything for the Sens if they don't win it, right?
Yeah, that could be the game that we say they're 100% out.
The problem again is like Columbus and Boston have been 2 of the best teams in the last couple months. Like it's crazy how good.
I think Columbus is getting in, and I think they're getting a division spot.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh might drop off with injuries and everything else that's going on, but Islanders are also just kind of hovering.
I think it's the Islanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would lean New York, but the Crosby and Malkin situation does make me wonder a bit about Pittsburgh.
What do you mean?
Like, well, Crosby's out, and then Malkin gets a suspension on a pretty dumb slash on Rasmus Dahlin.
It was, but how many? He's missed 1 of those games?
Right.
I think 2.
2 already?
I think 2.
So he's only got 3 more to go, and Crosby's back soon.
But with did we ever find out what the injury was? Was it groin?
I don't think we ever found it for sure, but I would say it is.
Yeah, with groin, it's tough to get back on the horse, like in terms of being full speed.
But he's skating already.
Yeah.
So if Jake Sanderson was skating tomorrow, would you be optimistic?
Yeah, but it's not his groin.
Yeah, but it's a shoulder.
Yeah.
Which is,
like I said, I would have had him play in a brace. Just use your legs, Jake. Don't use your hands.
You would have done
He could
that.
probably break a puck out better than they could tonight.
Let's stop.
He could break a puck out with his skates better than the Sens could tonight.
Yeah, let's risk 10 years of Jake Sanderson for a team that probably isn't going to make the playoffs either. Where's Ethan tonight? Don't tell me he's in bed already.
Probably.
He was all fired up on the pregame show.
Like Tanner said, he was afraid to show his face after those takes in the group chat.
Yeah. Best team in the East. Okay.
Julian says, the questions all fans are asking is, can you trust Ullmark to make saves at key times? And a 40-plus-year-old Reimer can't carry you as much as he may try. Sens need to score 4 or 5 a night realistically. Well, I mean, I think they've shown that they have, like, Vancouver and some of the other games. Yeah, they scored that against Seattle, but I think they've actually proved the opposite, that playing great defensive hockey, they don't have to do that. And I'm always going to tell you, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but might as well. This game coming home from a road trip with bad travel is, I'm telling you that this is not the same team. Montreal's a faster paced team. They don't have Jake Sanderson, but I would expect Ottawa to be right back on Saturday to this defensive structure where all of a sudden you look up in the middle of the second period and Anaheim has 6 shots.
Yeah, I mean, there was a stretch where Montreal went 8 minutes without a shot. I don't think team play or anything like that kind of played a factor in this game. I thought Ottawa outplayed them for large chunks of that game, and that ultimately, that arguably 2 bad goals cost them the game.
2.
And if they could score their
Tanner's like 2. So I agree with Tanner. As soon as it happened and we were out watching it, I was like, what is Ullmark doing? Yeah. Like, why is his pad like that coming across?
But you also need to, like, if you can't score more than 2 goals, you're usually not winning on any given night. You need 3 goals to typically win a hockey game.
Eric's coming to the defensive end here. The Red Wings have been a negative goal differential team all season, but amazingly rarely out of the playoff picture.
Law of averages. Eventually it'll catch up with them.
Eventually he's getting real tight.
The time is nigh.
Oh, see. That's not good. Erik Karlsson's going to make the playoffs, and Cam Talbot's going to make the playoffs. And
yeah, I was reading Karlsson apparently is having a really good, well-rounded season. Not as offensively gifted as he once was, but apparently looks pretty good there, bunch of minutes.
Wonder if the Sens fans still think he's coming back in the summer.
It would be a big mistake.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Oh, Joey Decort's still in the playoffs too, by the way. Another one.
Yep.
Great shot.
Saw him a couple nights ago.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're talking with Ottawa Senators, former goaltenders in the playoffs, there's a couple.
Go ahead.
Gustafson, Talbot, kind of Corpusalo backing up Swayman.
Yeah.
Joey Dack.
Decord.
Yeah.
Joey Dack. Who the hell calls him Joey Dack?
This guy right here.
It's like Joey Bats.
Yeah.
Speaking of baseball, I saw that Italy scored more runs, so I think it's Canada-US in the quarterfinals of that.
Great.
Yeah, I know. I need to confirm that. Somebody else can confirm that for me. But I'm just pretty sure that if Italy scored more than 4 runs today, the US would make it and finish second in their group, and Canada finished top of their group. So be Canada and the US in Houston. Don't love the Canadians' odds for that. Who else tonight disappointed you? Was it just Allmark here? And Shabbat?
I feel like this should have been a game for Brady Tkachuk to get up for.
So,
and
yeah.
When was the last time Brady Tkachuk got up for a game? And really
I know.
put the team on his shoulders and felt like a force, because I haven't seen it lately.
Has he even been a top 5 player on this team this season?
Probably not. Now,
He played 16 minutes. He had 5 shots on goal, 1 assist, 2 more that missed the net.
how many hits?
I was going to say 0, but 1.
So you got Tim Stützle. How many hits did Timmy throw out there? Did you say 6?
Oh, I know the Brady
one.
hit. You know who Brady hit? Hudson in the first period.
Yeah.
That was the hit.
Drake Batherson had 6 hits.
Okay, maybe it was Drake. But either way, if he's still banged up or whatever it is, or he's just not engaged right now, he's your captain. He needs to be better, especially for these big games.
I just can't believe we haven't heard the Shane Pinto stuff. -2 tonight.
That's what I was about to say before Ben said Brady.
Again, for the record, I am not a hater of Shane Pinto. I just think if you need to trade something of value to get something good, you got to give up value.
See,
I
my
think
man-
I think they need to split that lineup again. To
Yeah?
me. Cousins, Pinto, and Matteo, they had a very good streak there. Cousins was contributing a lot, but I think the last 2 or 3 games, it's kind of dried up.
Z Gibbons says can confirm Canada and the US in the quarterfinal, the WBC. And Julian says Pinto not great either. Brady needed to pull his team into this. You could maybe argue you'd like to see more from Amadio. Amadio kind of gets that.
He gets a pass for me because he's just a utility player.
Exactly.
Such good defensively, and his stick's great. Yeah, it's just you would really like if you could bury a few more chances.
-2 tonight, but again, it's really hard to fault guys on a minus when Linus Ullmark should have just trapped the puck against his body and nobody's on the ice for a minus at that point, right?
Yep.
That's the issue. Plus minus can be one of those things that
Wow. Amadio's going to have a career high in points this year.
Good for him.
Actually, that's pretty good. He's at 26 right now. He had 27 last year.
yeah, I don't look for him to be a point guy.
Me neither, but I mean, they'll take it.
I don't disagree with the Brady stuff, even though his numbers were a little bit better than I thought that they were tonight. It's not like I thought, oh, Brady Tkachuk's taking over this game. Tim Stützle was very noticeable.
Yeah, he had the one reverse hit where I felt like he really used his size and his muscle. But besides that, there was games against the Canadians a season ago, 2 seasons ago, where he was putting people through the boards and just absolutely imposing his will.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe it's just because he can't fight that he doesn't have that same confidence to back things up. But yeah, hopefully, if the Ottawa Senators can't go on some kind of run here.
Nice change there.
Yep, sorry.
You see what he did, Tanner?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
And then hopefully next year with a summer off to heal up, that Brady comes back next season back to normal Brady.
Will he be back? James wants to know, should we trade Brady for a 1A goalie plus others? He played pretty well when he was hurt. Mobility going to be a problem. Look, I'm on the side of I would explore options for Brady Tkachuk. I would not be trading him for a goalie.
Yeah, I don't think yeah.
What goalie are you ever gonna find that's gonna be? Oh yeah, we definitely got value for Brady Tkachuk. Goalies are voodoo. They're something, but you can't trade him for a goalie. You got to trade him for. To me, you could get a pile.
Yeah,
if Doug Armstrong's listening right now, he's calling up Staios. He's like, "I'll give you Jordan Binnington and Robert Thomas. You give me Brady Tkachuk."
So, who was it that was talking to me about Brady Tkachuk and the Utah Mammoth?
Interesting.
Yeah, somebody was saying that. Look, Brady Tkachuk is a U.S. hero, and Brady Tkachuk could go to a place like Utah and be the gold medal winning captain. He could be literally the face of this new franchise that's a pretty good team already, but he could come in and be that rock star that they do not have. And that we look at it from just a hockey lens for the most part in Ottawa. But people there look at it like we have a good team, but we don't have a star. We don't have a guy. And is there any guy that could be a guy more than Brady going into a team in a new NHL city like Utah? Like that guy would be a rock star. And the point to me that was made was that what if you were able to get a Ginla and like a Dylan Guenther? Would Ottawa be listening? And I'm like, yes. 1,000,000% they'd be listening.
I think you'd have to frame that trade very carefully, because I think you'd have to wait until you can have the conversation with Brady to make sure you can't extend him. Mm-hmm. And then that's when you decide, hey, ultimately Brady was either going to go to free agency or he wanted to go somewhere else. I think that's the only way you could frame it, because I feel like after losing players like, now the Carlson trade worked out, but losing players like Mark Stone, and
at the time the Carlson one, I was on the air till 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
With Erik Karlsson. So for sure.
It happened to work out to whatever it is now. It's Tim Stützle and I guess
Jake Sanderson.
No, we had our own pick. So it'd be Tim Stützle and Josh Norris that became Dylan Cousins. And I feel like there's another pick in there somewhere. But
pretty sure it was the San Jose pick that picked at number 5.
No, was it?
They picked Stützle and 3 and 5. One of those was the San Jose pick.
Yeah, I thought it was Timmy, but maybe I'm wrong.
It was.
No, but
it was Timmy.
Yeah, but Ottawa picked 3 and 5.
Right, but the 5 pick was their own.
And the 3 pick
was Timmy from San Jose.
Thank you, Martin Jones, for that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So the point being is they got a hell of a player.
Yeah.
From the Carlson, but you don't know that at the time.
Yeah, I really like Dylan Guenther, and Ginla's pretty sweet as well. I'd try to pry Lawson Krause out of there too, if you're looking for a big body that isn't Brady Tkachuk but can do a lot of the physical things that Brady Tkachuk can do.
Tyler Boucher's on the way.
So. You guys are missing a big one though. But first of all, I'll say like a Ginla would be great. Because, I mean, I don't have intel or anything, but I got a sneaking suspicion that might have been Staios' guy at the draft a couple of years ago when they took Yakimchuk.
Yeah.
Checks a lot of boxes for that team.
Yep.
But you're talking about a trade with Utah, and you're not even bringing up the guy who was just Tim Stützle's trigger man at the Olympics in JJ Peterka.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not make a deal with them and go for Peterka?
That's a good point. But
course correction from that draft.
the whole idea, though, was that Utah would overpay to finally get a rock star guy in.
Captain America.
Yeah, exactly.
You're underselling Keller a little bit, but I get what you mean.
What do you mean?
Keller's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, Keller's a good player.
Yeah. To you as a hockey guy, the Utah crowd, we got one of the Tkachuk brothers, the gold medal winning U.S. Tkachuk brothers, the hockey family. We got one of those guys. That's way above the Clayton Keller level.
Gold medalist Clayton Keller, by the way.
Hockey has more than one royal family.
I think I brought up to you this autograph thing. I'm still bothered by the autograph thing. Get a graphic up. I know. March 30th. Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk signing autographs for like $1 million.
Yeah, not a big deal to me. Who partakes in the hockey card and collectible?
Yeah.
I don't know even what you want to call it, marketplace. But yeah, lots of teams, lots of organizations run stuff like that. Not a big deal.
Okay.
Shout out to AJ Sports in the Toronto area.
The idea, though, would be on this Brady Tkachuk thing. Do you really believe he's re-signing with this team?
Not a chance.
So then why would you have to be careful with the messaging?
Because the average fan doesn't think of it that way. They might, I mean, the average fan, rightfully so, has PTSD about previous ownership groups, general managers who are not honest and desperately needed a better PR person or voice of the franchise rather than putting himself and inserting his own foot into his mouth. So
that was Pierre Dorion, by the way.
I wasn't going to name names.
Why?
So I think you need to frame it because like attendance and stuff like that has been pretty stable this season. Like there's been an uptick. There's some good faith with ownership. There's LeBreton, whatever you want to call the next location coming, and you don't want to slide backwards. And I think the only way you can frame this is if you paint Brady to be the bad guy. And I think that's honestly okay if that is honestly what happens. If he tells you, hey, I'm not re-signing, okay, then you got to make the best out of it. And you do it a year
but you're
out.
not legally allowed to do that until next, like not this coming July, but the following July.
Yep.
You would wait that long?
Yeah, one more season.
Okay.
And then you got to make your decision.
Tanner, would you wait that long?
That's probably how he's feeling too, is you guys have one more season to prove to me that I should stay here.
Yep.
Because he's made the playoffs once in his entire career here. So even just taking the whole Canada USA thing out of there and him probably wanting to go play in the States like his brother, he's probably sick of playing for a loser team. He's a Tkachuk. He wants to go win the Stanley Cup like his brother did twice.
Yep.
So yeah, that's very valid. And I mean, look up the 401. What just happened with Mitch Marner? What'd they get back for him? They got Nick Waugh. And where's he now? I mean, sure, they turned into a first now, but you cannot get to the point where he's about to walk to UFA and you're going to take a scrap just so a team gets to talk to him early about a contract. Like, if you're not re-signing him, you have to trade him for the maximum amount of value, which sucks because I do believe he has some trade protection. So that might complicate things. Like if he doesn't want to go to a Utah and maybe he'll only go to Florida to play with his brother. But yeah, I like the Mammoth as a fit for a trade partner, but we're a little far away from, I think, getting to that place. But yeah.
Ottawa definitely should explore trade options. If they want to be competitive, they can't be so apprehensive in taking calls on assets that they call untouchable.
There's only two untouchables on this team.
Agreed.
Jake Sanderson, Tim Stützle.
I think we all agree on that, right?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, there's only two. Anybody else? You should be listening.
I mean, hot take, Ridley Gregg. Just kidding.
I'd put Pinto above Greg. I think Pinto would be my number 3, to be honest.
Z Gibbons says Brady also saw his brother leave the Canadian hockey market for the States and then won with an American team twice.
Yeah, and the other thing is he has his brother in his ear, just like he's probably got his dad in his ear, and his agent
and his wife.
Like
it was doing it on the podcast like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that clip where Matthew was like, after the whole media thing he came back to, Matthew's like, just saying we don't have to deal with that here in Florida.
So would we blame, like, I just look at a guy like Brady and I say, okay, well, he grew up in the States. His brother now plays in the States and won a Stanley Cup and he's from St. Louis. And whether it's St. Louis or somewhere else, like his dad's from the States.
Mom's Canadian.
Winnipeg.
But he met his wife's from New Jersey. Would we blame Brady Tkachuk that he just wanted to go and like raise a family in a town in his home country where his brother and his dad and mom and wife, like, and everyone's from? Would we blame him for that?
No, and I would hope, I don't know if this is the case, that there's some Canadian players that feel kind of the same way, that, hey, maybe not totally okay with what's going on in the States and wouldn't mind going back to Canada. Now, I don't know if those people are few and far between or if they even exist at all, but could you really blame them if it was the other way around? No.
Interesting too, and this is just a complete side point. I don't know if you guys saw tonight, I pointed out to you. So they just passed a law in Washington State tonight that is going to put a 10% tax on anybody that makes more than $1 million. Literally every single sports person, I'm in Seattle, I'm guessing most people make $1 million a year. But if you make $1 million, you are now taxed 10% on that, as opposed to 0 yesterday. 10% today. That's a big deal.
I like that law in terms of overall for society, but not good for attracting free agents to Seattle.
Agreed. And that's the point of, we talk about Tampa and Florida and Nashville and all of these places, Dallas. They have no state taxes.
Yep.
Florida, Texas, Tennessee. It was Washington before today, but no state taxes. Even if you didn't want, like, if everything else was 50-50 in your life about where you want to play and, oh, but I make $10 million a year, I'm going to get taxed 0% or 13%.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm just not going to blame Brady Tkachuk for growing up in the States and having his family in the States and his wife's from the States to maybe wanting to go back and play there.
Yeah, and you got to get something back for him. You can't.
Well, that's
have a
what I mean.
situation.
So then, if you're Ottawa, like, if you're a fan, I don't think you should be blaming Brady Tkachuk.
No.
Well, it's like, does anybody blame Mark Stone for not re-signing?
Yeah,
when there was a potentially
at the time.
They shouldn't have, though.
I agree, but at the time Pierre Dorion got a ton of flack.
Yeah,
but people still thought Mark Stone should want to be here.
I think he did.
Rightly or wrong.
I was gonna say, I think
he did.
Weren't we debating? Wasn't this over like a no trade clause?
Yeah, from what I've heard, it was Melnick wouldn't let him give a no trade clause to Mark Stone.
So the point being,
it's brutal, by the way.
It is. You know what the worst one to me is, and not nearly as much of an impact player, but the Nick Paul one. The rumors were that this was over like less than $200,000 a year.
I thought you were going to say Martin Havlat.
No,
it was a
like,
bad trade,
but like $190,000 a year, and they're like, yeah, no, we don't want you. And then they traded him for Matthew Joseph.
Yep.
Oh,
and then they paid him more, I'm pretty sure, or it was like, very close amount, and then they had to pay to dump Joseph.
Like, imagine Nick Paul wanting to be here, like begging you to stay here, but just wanting to get some value. And you're like, no. We don't want that guy. So to the point that I'm not going to blame Brady, I'm not going to blame the Ottawa Senators for being proactive in going out. And I don't care what the fallout is. I don't care about PTSD. This is not this management group. They didn't do the Carlson. They didn't do the Stone. If they think Brady's leaving, because you're not allowed officially to talk to him, and maybe they would know, maybe they wouldn't know, but you're not allowed to officially talk to him.
You can talk to the agent.
Yeah.
They could know by this summer.
If they have an inkling that he's not going to sign, I would be very proactive, because this guy right now is probably at his peak value. He just won a gold medal.
Yeah. And I don't remember who said it in the chat. I think you had it up that his style of play doesn't suit a player later in their years. So you probably don't even want to necessarily be the team that has him on the back half of the 8 years.
That was our man, James.
We're forgetting a comparable right now. Quinn Hughes is signed through next season, and he told Vancouver he wasn't sticking around, so they traded him.
Yeah.
And they got a pretty good package. Like, I'm sure Canucks fans are pretty upset about saying goodbye to like the second best defenseman in the world, but I mean, they got the equivalent basically of 3 first-round picks.
Right.
Which for that team right now in the direction they're heading is huge.
And they weren't winning with Quinn Hughes anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great pull for comparison.
Yeah, it really is a good comparison. All right, so a couple of days to
lick the wounds,
and then
mount the comeback, like the fresh baby face.
Yeah,
pulling the energy from the crowd, Hulk it up.
Well,
big boot, leg drop.
Oh no. They do get Anaheim, who are in Toronto tomorrow, but Anaheim's still playing a game at 10 a.m. their body clock time on Saturday, which I don't care what you tell me is going to be a big deal for Ottawa. I think they're going to be okay there as long as their goalie is okay.
Yeah, I'm scared for Celebrini to light up one of Ullmark or Reimer. The Sens got to score their way out of that game, I think.
Yeah, I got another stat to pull here.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
After tonight against the Atlantic Division, the Sens are 6-6-6 this season, so they are 6-12 against the Atlantic Division.
Come on, they're 6-6-6
against the Atlantic.
Oh.
The sign of the Devils.
And what? All of the wins there are what, against the Leafs and a couple against the Bruins?
Yeah, they've done okay against Boston, but they have piled up some wins against Toronto for sure.
So I guess 500?
No, that's not 500.
Isn't it?
No.
6-6-6?
It'd be a game or technically NHL.
Yeah, it's 500.
It's not.
It's not 500. It's 12 points, 18 points in 36 possible points. So that's where you're going to get to your 500.
Yeah.
But they won 6 and lost 12.
Yeah, but it's 3-on-3 or shootouts.
Yeah.
It's not real hockey. That's what I tell everybody in Canada.
Yeah, well, I tell you that they're 5 points out of a playoff spot, and if they're better in that record, they'd be in a better spot.
Do you think there's any consideration to give Reimer the first game on Saturday?
Sure. He just had a shutout. And Ottawa typically plays well against Anaheim historically, and I only know this because I've been to very many Anaheim Ducks games with Arjan, who's a Ducks fan, and Ottawa always seems to get up for those games for whatever reason. They just match up well against them. So sure, feed Reimer to the Ducks and hope we get good Ullmark and not bad Ullmark on Sunday.
Who's we?
The city of Ottawa.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. By the way, the first place in the Pacific, Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, only.
Don't say only. They're in first place.
They can only beat the teams in front of them, but they'd be out of playoffs in the Atlantic.
Right. This is another one. This is why I brought it up. -7 goal differential.
Yeah.
In the first place Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, that Pacific Division is not good.
No.
Yeah, it stinks.
The Kraken are minus 11, and they're in a playoff spot too. So
This is the Central Division beating up on the Pacific Division, essentially.
and this is why the format should change. We'll get into that another day, but this is the NHL playoff format's hot garbage.
Yeah, one of Colorado, Dallas, or Minnesota are going to be out in the first round.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I love Minnesota, so it's going to be them.
Oh, okay.
I pick them every year in my playoff pools, and they're always out.
All right. Well, massive weekend coming up for the Ottawa Senators. I think tomorrow night, the games again that you'll be looking at, San Jose in Boston to take on the Bruins at 7:00. Other games that would matter to Ottawa: Detroit in Tampa, Columbus in Florida, and then out west, the Pittsburgh Penguins are in Vegas. So there are some teams around Ottawa that are in action tomorrow. A lot of them on the road, except for the Boston Bruins. 13 in a row at home. Ben doesn't think they're any good, but okay.
Snap back to reality.
Everyone's due to lose one, like Ottawa was tonight, coming back off a road trip, which was always going to be a difficult game. And I think they're going to get right back at it next weekend. I really do.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Tanner, always a pleasure. Never a chore with you.
Likewise.
Okay. I can't say the same about
No, you cannot.
BS over here.
Whole lot of BS.
Oh, that's a good one. No more BS?
No
Nope.
more BS on this show.
My own segment.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. And thank you to I can't believe I'm gonna do this, but I am. Eric says, great takes, Ben. Your name should also appear on the screen. Yep. If I knew how to do that, I actually would have done it.
That's okay. I'm the anonymous host.
The anonymous GM.
Yeah.
The anonymous OSN general manager.
Yeah.
That's right.
The journeyman.
But between Eric and James and Julian and Zach, we appreciate everyone being a part of the chat and helping this go along. And I think just cross your fingers that Ottawa is not more than 6 points back of a playoff spot. That's the number to me. Come Saturday, and then maybe by the end of Sunday, they can be up to 2 or 3 back. That's the goal. Tanner, Ben, thanks very much. Thanks for everyone listening. The Ottawa Senators lose 3-2 in regulation to the Montreal Canadiens, and back in action on Saturday afternoon. It's a 1:00 start, 12:15 pregame here on OSN, and then we'll have This Is Overtime for you as well. We appreciate you being with us, and only bigger and better things to come. So thanks for being with us on This Is Overtime.